On September 17, 2024, Hezbollah was once again at the center of the world agenda, the target of a digital attack unprecedented in history. In the midst of years of cross-border fighting with the Israeli army, this time it was Hezbollah members who were targeted and thrown into chaos across Lebanon when their pagers, and the next day their radios, were remotely detonated. From the small villages of southern Lebanon to the suburb of Dahiyeh, south of Beirut, to the Bekaa Valley, known as Hezbollah's stronghold, these explosions have raised many questions about the origins of the organization and how it became so powerful, along with the question, what will happen next? Now there is another question. Are they really that powerful? In this video, we will discuss how Hezbollah was founded, how it influences regional balances, and its strategic ties with Iran. Don't forget to watch the video to the end, like it, and share your thoughts in the comments. If you are not yet with us, subscribe and join us for more history content to better understand the days we live in. The origins of Hezbollah, which means Party of God, should be traced back to Lebanon in the 1970s. Lebanon and its capital, Beirut, was a civil war-torn and suffering country, long past its heyday as the Paris of the East, with its magnificent history and coastline. There was a sharp division between different ethnic and religious groups. Shia Muslims felt socially and politically left behind as Palestinian Sunnis, many of them supporters of the secular Palestine Liberation Organization, began to migrate to the region and began to organize to defend their rights and increase their power. These small Shiite resistance groups eventually merged into Hezbollah and began to fight openly against Israel's presence in Lebanon. One of the most important events that changed Hezbollah's destiny was the Islamic Revolution in Iran in 1979. Led by the Shiite leader Ayatollah Khomeini, the revolution was a revolution not only for Iran but also for all Shiite communities in the Middle East. Iran, which lives Shiite ideology to its roots and aims to keep it alive, of course saw the nascent Hezbollah organization in Lebanon as a great opportunity to spread its ideology and sphere of influence. Over the years, it has turned it into an extension of itself almost completely. The year 1982 was another turning point for Hezbollah. The Israeli invasion of South Lebanon triggered a major resistance movement in the region and paved the way for the rapid growth of Hezbollah. The prolonged presence of Israeli forces, which advanced as far as Beirut and then occupied South Lebanon, united the Shiite community around Hezbollah. In this process, financial and military support from Iran enabled the organization to rapidly arm itself and become an effective force in the region. Hezbollah became an effective force not only in the military sphere, but also in the social and political sphere. The organization gained a social base by providing social services in poor Shiite neighborhoods in Lebanon. Through health services, education programs, and infrastructure, Hezbollah gained public support by asserting itself in areas where the state fell short. In a sense, it became a state within the state. Meanwhile, the Lebanese civil war continued as if it would never end. Of course, it is also possible to say that over the years, even up to the present day, it has never ended, only fizzled out every now and then. In 1989, an agreement was signed in Taif, Saudi Arabia to end the civil war. Syria was granted guardianship over Lebanon, and it was agreed that all groups except Hezbollah would lay down their arms. While other groups disarmed, Hezbollah retained its weapons to fight Israeli forces occupying the predominantly Shia Muslim south of the country. Years of guerrilla warfare led to Israel's withdrawal in 2000, a success for Hezbollah. Hezbollah's first goal was to drive Israel out of Lebanon and protect Shia Muslims. But Hezbollah had already set its main, perhaps long-term, goal: the complete destruction of the State of Israel. During these years, Hezbollah became aggressive and began to organize suicide bombings and bombings both in Lebanon and in many other parts of the world. In 1983, 241 American soldiers were killed in a suicide bombing that leveled the U.S. Navy headquarters in Beirut. In the same year, 58 French paratroopers were killed in a bomb attack on the French barracks. A similar attack was carried out on the U.S. Embassy in Beirut in 1983. In 1994, Hezbollah and Iran were blamed for a bomb attack on a Jewish community center in Buenos Aires, Argentina, in which 85 people were killed, and in 1992 for an attack on the Israeli embassy in Buenos Aires in which 29 people were killed. Hezbollah has claimed over the years that these attacks were not planned by Hezbollah, but were carried out by small groups with no links to Hezbollah. However, all these attacks resulted in Washington labeling Hezbollah as a terrorist organization. On the one hand, Hezbollah became active in Lebanese politics, and in the 1992 elections, Hezbollah was represented by 12 members in the Lebanese parliament, which consisted of 128 members. In 2005, a major break in Lebanese politics took place. Former Prime Minister Rafik Hariri was assassinated by a bomb in Beirut. Although his family pointed the finger at Hezbollah in the following years, it was widely speculated that Syria had a hand in the assassination, and as a result of the pressure, Syria was forced to withdraw from Lebanon in April 2005. In the elections held a month later, Hezbollah increased its votes and became one of the partners of the newly formed government. During this period, Hezbollah was expected to focus entirely on politics and weaken its military wing, but the opposite happened and it started to rapidly increase its military capacity. Soon after, however, the calm that had been hanging by a thread in the region gave way to a renewed state of war. Israel broke the ceasefire with Palestine and killed 8 members of the same family sitting on a beach in the Gaza Strip. On July 12, 2006, Hezbollah militants crossing the border with Israel kidnapped 2 Israeli soldiers and killed 8 Israeli soldiers. Israel did not sit idle and started operations in southern Lebanon. In the 32-day war that ensued, Israel attempted to re-establish a blockade of southern Lebanon and intensely bombarded Hezbollah settlements. Hezbollah, in turn, shelled settlements in northern Israel with Katyusha missiles. Although Lebanese government officials said they were unaware of the incident, the Israeli government blamed Lebanon for all this and threatened that they could turn Lebanon back 20 years if they wanted to. In the end, they did, and Lebanon's infrastructure and economy completely collapsed after the massive Israeli bombardment. And the war, as is so often the case, was characterized by civilian and especially child casualties. Israeli civilian casualties were recorded at 40. On the Lebanese side, 1109 people were killed, most of them children. Hezbollah sees itself as the protector of the Shiites in the region. As such, it is the next most important part of the Iran-led axis of resistance, which is united on the basis of opposition to NATO, Israel, America, and Saudi Arabia. Thanks to this position, its military capabilities are increasing day by day. During the Syrian civil war, they had the opportunity to test these capabilities. They have played a key role in keeping Syrian President Bashar al-Assad in power and have been instrumental in training Shiite militias in Syria and Iraq and the Houthis in Yemen. Moreover, they say they have rockets with the range to hit anywhere in Israel and that they have precision missiles in their arsenal. The organization has been led by Hassan Nasrallah for 32 years. Born into a Shiite family in a poor suburb of Beirut, Nasrallah studied religion in South Lebanon and joined the Amal movement, an armed organization during the civil war. When the Amal movement merged with other Shiite groups to form Hezbollah, he joined the organization's upper echelons. He became Hezbollah's Secretary General after Abbas Mousavi, Hezbollah's Secretary General at the time, was assassinated by Israel. Commanding the 2006 war, he has become an icon in Hezbollah circles in addition to his leadership. In Lebanon, as well as in Syria and many other countries in the Arab world, Nasrallah's photo is everywhere, from billboards to the facades of buildings and the coverings on souvenirs. But he often faces opposition in his own country. Many Lebanese of various sects are worried that Nasrallah is tying their fate to Iran. And Nasrallah has continued to lead his organization from an unknown location for 32 years. 4 years, he has been living in hiding and speaking from secret locations because he fears a possible Israeli assassination. Much has changed since the attacks carried out by the Hamas-affiliated Al-Qassam brigades on October 14, 2023. On July 30, 2024, Hezbollah's top military commander Fuad Shawker was killed by Israel in an airstrike in the southern suburbs of Beirut. The following day, the political leader of Hamas, Ismail Haniyeh, was assassinated in the Iranian capital Tehran. Since then, the region has been waiting for a response from Hezbollah and Iran, both of which have vowed to retaliate against Israel. For its part, Hezbollah has said it will stop fighting only when the fighting in Gaza ends. The balance in the region is hanging by a thread, as it has been for years. In conclusion, Hezbollah's presence in the Middle East is a very important issue in terms of regional and global balances. We tried to make an analysis of this organization, from its ideological structure to its military and political effects. If you are interested in such historical and current issues, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like and share our videos. See you in the next video. Goodbye.